Listening can change the game of your speaking. It didn't happen in one day. It took time. Today in this video, I'll be talking about the reasons why many of the English learners they are not able to achieve fluency in speaking. They complain that I can write, I can read, I understand when other people speaks, that time I understand. But the problem is the moment I start speaking, that time I can't speak the way they are speaking, the way they are speaking smoothly, fluently. I can't speak. What are the mistakes that I'm making? I have to understand that. Many people ask, many English learners ask, they have this question in their mind. Reason number one, that is grammar. You are too much worried about the grammar rules while speaking. This is a very common problem. This happens because you are too much conditioned about learning the grammar, understanding the grammar, and reading the grammar. At the same time, you develop a tendency of keeping everything grammatically right in your speaking. And from that understanding, you always intentionally or unintentionally you keep focus on your grammar rules, grammar mistakes while speaking. That is the problem. You should not think about the grammar rules while speaking. If you keep thinking about the grammar rules while speaking, then you will definitely get slow. Your speaking cannot be fluent, it cannot be smooth. So one of the mistakes that most of the English language learners making is grammatical rules. They are thinking about grammatical rules all the time. They want to make the perfect grammar in their speaking, and that is why the problem comes. Because language is not about grammar. Language theory is all about grammar, but the moment you are speaking, if you think about the grammar, you will never be able to speak fluently. That's true. I have spent 5 to 6 years only to learn the language, only to learn the grammar, keeping this thing in mind that I'll become fluent. But that has never happened. Never happened. That is why I am now become the fan of listening, the comprehensible input. That is why. And I'm getting the lots of improvement out of this particular approach of language learning, language speaking, language fluency. So grammar is not going to make you fluent. Number two, most of the language learners are avoiding this. That is listening. You are not listening so much. You are just listening very little. You are not reading that much. You are not listening to the other speakers that much. What you are doing is you are giving focus in learning. You are giving focus in studying. You are giving focus in reading. You are giving focus in grammatical things, but you are not giving your focus, your attention, your effort in listening. The most important, listening. Listening can change the game of your speaking. There is a connection between your listening and your speaking. Somebody said it very well that if you want to be a better speaker, first of all, you have to learn how to be a good listener. So if you want to be a better speaker, inculcate the habit of listening. Because listening is going to change really the whole game of learning language is going to change by listening. So listen a lot. That is the mistake that most of the language learners are making. That is why they are not getting the result, the expected result they must have in their speaking. So listen a lot, listen that type of topic, that type of thing that interests you, that motivate you, that you can relate with. So that type of listening, start that and listen with focus, with attention. Try to focus on the sentence structure, try to focus on the words, try to focus on the style, how they are using, how they are talking, the style of talking, each and everything, just to keep focus on. And that's how, without thinking about the grammar rules, you are smoothly, naturally, you are going to absorb the style of speaking. At the same time, you are going to absorb lots of vocabulary words. That means it is something like your brain becomes the sponge, and it's going to absorb all the words, all the style of speaking, all the expression of speaking, like water. Like sponge absorbs water, your brain is going to absorb all the speaking style like sponge. Point number 3, that is practice. You are not practicing enough the pronunciation and the speaking. You are not practicing enough. So practice is a must. Whatever skill you take, whatever thing you do, practice. If you want to be the expert, if you want to be the better person in that particular section, there is no alternative to practice. Practice makes a man perfect. You have to put in your effort in practice. How will practice? Understand. When you are listening to any other speaker, your favorite speaker, you are listening, you are absorbing, you are taking the notes, you are doing everything, but you are not practicing them, you are not repeating them, then it's not going to work. So what you are going to do is you have to practice, like phrases you are noting down, the words you are noting down, the contextual words you're noting down. So that words, that phrases, that you keep repeating, because your brain is trained, but when the moment you speak, you need to train your tongue, you need to train your mouth, how you speak, how you want to make sound, how you want to pronounce. So pronunciation and speaking, these two things you need to practice. So if you practice this way, then definitely, slowly, gradually, you will develop the power, you will develop the capacity of speaking, you will develop the confidence. From within you will feel a confidence that yes, I can speak this without thinking the grammar, because I have the phrase, I have practiced a lot, and practice in such a way so that without thinking, consciously, subconsciously, you will be able to speak that thing, and suddenly you can speak the sentences that you have practiced. That sentence will come automatically from your mouth. And that is why practice you have to do. Without practice, it's not possible. Without practice, it's not possible for me to speak. So if you expect the result instantly, I'm so sorry for that. It is not going to pay the instant result, but I'm quite sure that it is going to give you the result in long term. In long term, it's going to give the result. Now point number 4, that is perfect opportunity. Perfect opportunity. There are many students, there are many people, they want to speak this language, but they're waiting for that one particular perfect opportunity. Like if I get a very good course, or if I get somebody else who is speaking very nicely, or if I get a very good motivation from somewhere, then only I'll start speaking, then only I'll start my journey. They're waiting for particular day, particular opportunity. That way, if you think that I will wait for that, when that will come, I'll start, that way you will keep wasting lots of your time. You should not wait for any perfect opportunity. You should start your journey right now, right today. Then definitely you will get it. Slowly you will start improving. At the same time, when you get it, that you will accept, no problem. And the last reason, that is consistency. Consistency is very important. You take any work, anything you take, consistency is very, very important. If you are not enough consistent in your effort, in your practice, in your speaking, if you are not enough motivated to speak that, to acquire that, then the result is not going to come the way it should come. That is why be consistent and be persistent. You have thought that yes, I want to speak this language very nicely, fluently, confidently. So you have to pay the price for that. You have to be consistent. You should not be irregular. You should be regular. You should train your mind, at the same time you should train your mouth, your tongue to speak. At the same time, you keep some time, like 1 to 2 hours. You listen to your favorite lectures. You listen to your favorite YouTubers. You listen to your favorite audios. You listen about the English speaking. You listen about how to improve English speaking. You listen about how to improve your pronunciation. There are a lot more videos. you can watch them, you can listen to them, and you can absorb, and that's how you're going to improve. So consistency is very, very important. There is no alternative to consistency. So be consistent. If you're not consistent, there is no guarantee that you're going to get a result. The result will be average. So if you want to get very good result, significant improvement in the way of your speaking, then consistency, perseverance, and continuous development, continuous practice, continuous working, continuous effort you must have this. If you're not feeling good, if you're not feeling well, it's okay. One day skip, it's not a problem, but the next day you should not skip. So that's how we have to be consistent. You have to be consistent, and so you will feel that yes, after 3 months, after 4 months, after 6 months, that result will come, and that time you'll be amazed. That time it is something like you will think that yes, I have paid the price that time, now I'm getting the result. You will see that significant improvement in the way of your speaking, in the way you are expressing yourself. That's how improvement comes. If you think the people, those who are speaking very nicely, very politely, at the same time very fluently, it didn't happen in one day. It took time. They have invested their time, they have paid the effort. That's why they are fluent today. So fluency journey is not for one day. Many people are giving the videos and saying that 7 days you become fluent, 15 days you become fluent, like 2 months you become fluent. There is no shortcut. There is no shortcut. You take anything, it is going to take your effort. It is going to take your time. It is going to take your consistency, your perseverance, your urge to learn this, your urge to speak the language. That's all. Keep improving, keep practicing, and be consistent with your English speaking journey. Bye.